All right, so Job 31:35 is what we're going to be looking at today. And, every now and then there's, I get scriptures that pop up that when I see them, I get pretty dang excited. Actually, I don't want to share that. I want to actually go to there. Are you seeing the Bible Hub link?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, just making sure here. So Job 31:35 in the mechanical translation only is, "Oh, that I had one to hear me. To me, here is my mark. Oh, that the Almighty would answer me and had written a book, my prosecutor." Very, very interesting to see what is being mentioned here. The first thing I'm just going to show, the very first thing is my mark. This is the same word found in Ezekiel chapter 8 when it says the writer with the inkhorn to go put a mark on the forehead of all the people, and that the ones that have the mark are the ones that are not going to have harm, connecting to the mark of the Cayutha, the beast, that is marked on their forehead. Well, this is the same exact word for it, and we know that this is the constituent letters that spell the Tav itself, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually, if you take the constituent letters, Tav would be Tav Vav, and then Vav would be Vav Vav. So really what we have, if you take the constituent letters that are behind, that are hidden, it would be the covenant of 666, right? Because the Vav, Gematria, is 6.
Yeah.
So you would literally have 3 Vavs here. This is the covenant of 666, which is the mark of the Almighty, Shaddai. Ah!
Wow.
So this verse right here, I don't even remember why I put this in here. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't even know that I recognize it. I don't even know that
I haven't spent much time in Job.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the last time I was in Job was when I was reading it in English, when I was actually within the Christian church. So that's been a really long time, because even in my stint within the Hebrew Roots movement, I never went through Job. It was kind of like I read through that book several times. Yeah, and his friends were beating him up. He lost everything. It was restored. Well, end of story, right? No, there is immense treasure to be excavated, as every book. But I don't know why this one came up. I don't know whether I was looking at the mark and this came up because of the mark. I have no idea. And I'm sure it probably was.
Yeah.
But regardless, being able to see that, wow, that is super fantastic. It's the covenant of 666.
Yeah.
And again, that's not bad, right? 3 6s is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 means completion. So the mark of man's number of the carbon element, 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, the triune being, is that we are completing our journey, and it's connected to the mark. And of course, this has the yod on the end of it, so it's the mark that gives them power. So let's start at the top to be able to go through this. Oh, that. So this word, oh, that, this is the root of the word manna. It's the question asking who, whose, whom, what. It's the question that goes in it. So manna was named after the root of this. What means, what is it, right? That's what manna is. They named it manna, which is actually memnoon. But it's the same exact root. This time, though, there's no noon here. The question is being presented regarding something that's happening in the waters of chaos, because we've got Mother's Mem right here. Something that is happening, it's answering a question about something that is happening in the waters of chaos that is meant to give you power. And it's for those who have their hand open to receive it, but also those who are giving in nature. So again, if we look at system of duality of service to self or service to others, this is something that is being presented as an answer to those who are giving in nature, that are going to get power through mother and father's teaching. Because again, mem, sofit, you only see mem, mother, in front because father is behind. because nobody gets brought to the Father's teaching unless they enter into Mother first, that she is going to be giving the power for us to go inward to deliver ourselves. It's interesting to note too that many times the word mayim is, which is water, the plural form of water, is written this way without the final mem. So many times mayim is written this way. So mother's powerful water while being in chaos. And then when we move on, we have the word, the root, natan. But the first noon, so again, the question, if there's a question being asked here, and we're seeing that because it's the waters of chaos, this is, oh, so if we look at the English, oh, that I had one to hear me. Oh, that I had one to hear me. Well, I had, it's, oh, that there would be someone I could give this to, because natan means to give.
Yes.
Right? Oh,
Right.
that I could give of the power, because this is on the prefix side. Mother's saying, oh, that I could give my power, this strong vision to someone, which is highly spiritual in nature, right? Because the first noon is missing. The first noon is missing. So this is already telling us that this is a highly spiritual issue here. That noon has already been removed. So pay attention, because it's really not pertaining to flesh, even though the fallen flesh is here. But what this word makes, this root word right here, is dragon and jackal. So when Ken has been sharing about Anubis overstanding death, and also the dragons are known for wisdom as powerful beings, this is, oh, that the power would be given so that they could become the dragons and the jackals, the ones who overstand death and have tremendous wisdom. It is the covenant, the two covenants that have become one, because again, this is a strong Dagesh, it's two talks that have become one, while they are in their flesh suit in the earth realm. So the question is, who can I give this to? Who can I give this highly spiritual message to that has power associated to it? I'm waiting for hands to be held out that are willing to, that are giving in nature, so that I can give it as Mother speaking. How fitting that there's sirens in the background.
I know. Sorry.
This is an urgent
We're out on the street here.
It's all good. Just say this is an urgent message, people. So we got sirens that are happening in real time to back this urgent message up, because Mother is saying, who can I give this to?
Yes.
So then we have the word that they didn't translate, the lamed yod. You know, there's nothing attached to it whatsoever. So we know that what is being given is instruction, lamed, to instruct you so that you can receive power. The power means in direction to go inward so you can deliver yourself. So as a teaching shepherd, you know, needs to come. So this could also be looked at as saying, I'm in the waters of chaos and I need to be given something, power that I am lacking. Where is the teaching shepherds of light that would bring forth this powerful vision that they are going to give to me so I can deliver myself from my weak and feeble state? That's another way of looking at this. So Mother is saying it, who can I share this with? And then there's those that are in the waters of chaos saying, I need instruction because I'm in the middle of chaos. And then we go into Shema, which we know is a huge word, to hear, listen, obey, to perceive, right? So Shem, the living fire, and notice, did you notice how this one's written? I don't know if you can see it. It's got a dagesh. It's got a dagesh over the right and left.
Yeah, and what's the scrolly over top of it?
That is a cannellation mark.
Okay.
And I don't know what that one specifically is because I haven't gone into the deep dive of all the cannellation marks yet.
Oh, okay.
Because
But
again,
yeah,
they
I
have
see
meaning
both
too.
of the dageshes. Yep.
So we have the consuming fire of Mother and Father here, both. Through their living water teachings that give us the ability to have the eyes to see the fountain that resides within us, to know the purpose, of this instruction that gives us power. And again, with the vertical line here, this is connecting to filling us up as queen, because this is the one. So the first line, the conjunctive dash, is about bride, and then the second one is about queen. So you've got width and breadth here as bride, and height and depth as queen, to be lifted up. So it's telling us that we need to Shema, we must go through the consuming fire of mother and father, where we are going to take that which is on our external orientation and our inward orientation and burn it up on the altar of our heart, our living sacrifice of our lower ego nature, and going through the waters of purification so that we can tap into the deep well that's within us that gives us the eye, the ayin, the eye to see the purpose of this, the fuller landscape picture. Because really, this word in of itself, as we know, has obedience attached to it. And obedience, we have the wrong concept of that. I think in large, you hear somebody say, be obedient, it's like being submitting. And it's like, no, what this means is activate, do something with the information. Just having it up here, if it doesn't translate into the work and deed of your hands and the walk of your feet, it will never change the heart. So this word is about applying that which you hear. And it also is connected to that which you see, because that's what the ayin is in paleo. It's an eye. So it's about hearing, seeing, and applying. And again, we have now look. So here, this word, it was not translated again. It's the instructions that give you power, but it has the diamond on top. And again, I know this cannellation mark very well, because when I saw it, I about fell out of my chair, because it means it's a gift from God. This is directly connected to the 144,000 of those who are quadrated. So we can already see the progression of where this is going and the importance of Shema in activating and going through the process, that this instruction that is being given is a gift from God, as a teaching shepherd presents this to you, which is meant to give you power. It's meant to give you power.
Yes.
And then we have hen, which we know is also lo and behold. Lo and behold, here is my mark. And this is a Egyptian word for measurement, specifically of a liquid measurement. And that makes sense, because when we were looking at Shema, we had the mem, the living water teachings, the waters of purification, which is their teachings. So if this is a liquid measurement, it's like, well, it is going to be revealed what you have as a liquid measurement of mother and father while you're in your flesh. Because that is what then determines the mark, right?
Yeah.
Because the amount of liquid measurement, the amount of living water, which is meant to compress light within, is going to be revealed of those who have a different frequency, because we know that this has to do with a signature, a frequency change of those who have been marked with the covenant of 666, which is of completion, that gives them power. That's huge. So it does let you know that there's a measurement, there's a standard to be met that will then determine who has the mark and who does not have the mark. The one that will be exempt from judgment, the one that harm will not befall them, that they have been set apart to be let alone because they've changed their frequency. So in other words, mother doesn't need to beat them up anymore because they've changed their frequency. Father's not going to beat them up anymore, through that, because they've changed their frequency. And this is the mark, the Almighty. So Almighty, I trace this down. So Almighty, from Shaddad, and when we look at this, to be burly and powerful, passively impregnable, implication to ravage. Now, when I look at this, I don't see the negative side of it, although that is there because we know that this is the language of duality. But I do see that it is powerful and impregnable, meaning that it is completely fortified. So in the root aspect of it, Sheen Dalit Dalit, right? The consuming fire of the twin doors that one must go through. So this is letting you know that even though that Dalit, well, the second Dalit is there. That's the thing that you wouldn't see in English because this is a strong Dagesh, right? There's two Dalits here that have become one. Shaddai. So there's two Dalits. So the root, the Sheen Dalit Dalit, is still there. It's just that the two doors have become one. They've become unified, and now you have been given power. So it's a powerful word, meaning that you have been shored up. You're impregnable. Nothing can penetrate you because you've gone about what you needed to do through the instruction, and now the Father is giving his power to you. Again, so when we looked at Jason Shirka's video about the power of the codes, here we go. Father's teaching, this is the hidden side that is giving us power to be of a powerful source that's impregnable. And then just a few more words here. Would answer me. This is, we're going to trace this one down too. You've heard us talk about the Temple of Answers, right? Bayit Noth, the Temple of Answers, were to be the Temple of Answers. Well, the root of that is Anah. And when we look at Anah, tracing it down, it also means to, so it's to testify, to announce, to speak, sing, and shout. But it also means to heed, I heed and pay attention to. So the noon was removed, but look at this. So the answer, okay, let's go back. This was a question, right? This was a question being presented. The answer is coming, saying that, look at, if we take the covenant of the pieces, we have a power of mother on the front side and the power of father on the back side. This is the covenant of the pieces. So because they've been divided, so what is it that they're showing us between? They are showing us that the answer is that they would give us both their power, the power of mother and father, which would give us the ability to see the purpose, find the fountain that is within us to deliver us of our flesh nature through the twin spiritual paths that are taken as a representation of the cherubim on the Ark of the Covenant. Because the Ark of the Covenant is also called the Ark of Testimony, which is part of the root of this word, a testimony.
Yes.
So that is the answer. Find the spiritual paths. Mother's wanting to give you her power. Father wants to give you his power. You must have the eye to see both of these spiritual paths. And if you shema and go through both of their paths, the consuming fire that deals with your flesh, and then the waters that purify you, you will be given the eyes to see because you will be activating and you will be doing something with the instruction that has been given to you, as this is a gift from God, as part of the quadration effect of the 144,000. And then it's written a book. Well, each one of us is our own book. We are our own sefer. But it's also letting us know that the answer lies in the book, in the sacred writings. If we connect to Mother and remain humble and teachable, we will receive the signet ring where we are surrounded, protected, hedged in, and supported with a shield of thorns so that we can do what? Produce fruit. The mouth that brings forth revelation, that raises us up from being poor and destitute to be first fruit leaders. So these are wedded ones. This would be considered the Queen of Heaven, who has fruit in her life because of what has been written, katab. So connect that to ketubah, the marriage contract, right?
Yeah.
And this is a cup that has been filled and pierced, which is kind of funny. So we looked at the word that meant impregnable, but yet the double dagesh here means that it did get pierced. So setting up boundaries and allowing you to be pierced with what needs to produce life, and having the boundaries set up that the other that would be taking life away from you wouldn't be able to penetrate you. But this is a cup that has been made full. This is one that has grasped a hold of the sacred language that brought revelation to them. The covenant of building through the 222 process, building love, as this, what has been written in the sacred writings, is a gift from God, and it is of the covenant, Tavav. And then I find it's interesting that they used my prosecutor here, right? This is so interesting to see this. So right here, this is the spiritual man. So this isn't Anash, the weak and feeble one. This is the spiritual man who is of fire that has been given power in between, because olive sheen is the word for fire, and yod is the power that is given on the inside. In other words, it's like where you connect with source on the inside, which is where your power generator comes from, where it
Yeah.
burns and gives you fire. This is the seraphic message that has come manifest as the Ishman. This is the way we were before we were covered in skins. This is showing us the process of what has been written for us in the sacred writings that are a gift from God, that then makes us the Ishman. But this is really talking about the return of the judges, because this word here, dispute, strife, a contest, personal or legal, it says adversary, comes from strive or contend, to grapple, to wrangle, to hold a controversy, to defend. And the root of that is resh yod bet. Let's see some other things here if I can see anything. Shouting, clamor, disquiet, shout, quarrel, noisily, involving body struggle, involving words, conduct in a legal case in suit, to plead, to make a complaint, to grapple. So this is really about our wrestle, but it's connected to adjudication, hence why they put my prosecutor. So it was from Resh Yod Bet, where they were also saying that it would be connected to Resh Vav Bet. And what do we have here? We have those who were once poor and destitute being raised up to being first fruit leaders that have been given power on the inside, and they have also been given additional power. So this is still the covenant of the pieces. We have those twin visions that are meant to build us on the inside, because bet means inside, also means to build spiritually. So we have those yods again, just like we had up here, the covenant of the pieces, letting us know these two spiritual paths have been meant to build us on the inside, so that we are our own prosecutor by being the spiritual man that has been given power on the inside that is of fire. So this is really the process of becoming seraphim.
Yeah.
The seraphim that are coming as judges, as the first fruit leaders who've built themselves on the inside, which again, when you look at what we've been talking about here, instruction, we've seen it several times about the instruction that has been necessary, that encompasses being set apart as the bride and then becoming queen. And it all started out with the question of, that a message would be given to instruct people and that they would hear it. So from mother crying out to us and us crying out that we need instruction, and it's letting us know that it is here. And there's a measurement, a revealing that is going to happen while we are in our flesh, connected to the bride, that is meant to be marked with the covenant of 666, the completed, that are exempt from judgment, who have been now given power. Power from this yod, literally the word power here from that yod. There's power all over the place, and it has been written. If we can just stay humble and teachable, realizing that it is meant to fill our cup as we've been tamed and bent towards this, grasping a hold of the power of the covenant that is a gift from God to build us our spiritual temple so that we can become the Ishman, the spiritual man who is of fire, that is an adjudicator, is a judge, and is going to be coming back as judge.
Yeah, you begin to connect on the inside.
So that's where the transformation takes place, is on the inside. You know, that
Yes.
the external orientation is only the preliminary start of it.
But I mean, we're activating things as we go, but then when we connect on the inside, that's when we begin to receive power, because then we're mature enough to be able to handle power and move forward in that and become, you know,
Exactly.
the burning one, the
Exactly.
Ishman. So a completed whole, yeah.
So,
now.
and because it's the Ishman, so
So-
because it's of the Ishman, we already know that Aleph is the unified feel of oneness, right? So fire in of itself is unified. The word fire, the frequency, the seraphim, because they are of one fire, right? Aleph Sheen. They are of one consuming fire. So it's the same message that the seraphim carry because they've become it. That's what's so fascinating to me, is that when we have these moments of da'at, of intimate knowing, we literally become the embodiment of those frequencies. So it's different. It's because you become it. It's not it, like Ken says, the difference of looking at it instead of as it. So when we see this, and it's the manifestation of knowing that we are of one fire in becoming seraphim, because that's what the Ishman is. It's the fullness of Adam Kadmon in the fullness of what mankind was before they were clothed with skin, that we are returning back to that state in that seraphic realm, because we are raising ourselves up, connecting dots with angel morphism and everything that the Qumran community was teaching, and even what Yeshua was teaching, that they wanted to put a kibosh on because of the power of it. I mean, you're telling people we become seraphim messengers? Yes. Yes. Can. Because the difference between Melech and Malach, so Melech, king and queen, Malach, messenger angel, is the Aleph is added on the inside. So you've got king and queen of righteousness that sit at the right hand, but once that oneness unified field comes in and you are one with source creator, you have now become an angel messenger, which is also a prophet, a priest, and a teacher. That's what the messengers do. So Malach, as the Ishman, as Ish, the seraphic messengers that are bringing this message to the latter day generation to answer the cry of, oh, that there would be instructors that would teach us in the way. That's so fantastic.
Yes.
That's why I wanted to share that verse, because it was so amazing.
That is. But it's saying that same thing, and so it's like saying it over and over and over. I mean, in different ways, in different depths, but still saying the same thing.
Yep. Well, again, if we understand that the Hebrew concept, everything was built around inculcation. That's why year after year after year after year, they would teach from the Torah, because Torah has actually the word or, light, in it. It's the covenant of light that is revealed to you. And again, the difference is that if we see it in English, it's completely different than what's written in the Hebrew. And if you don't have the codes, you're going to take it as a very surface orientation. So when I say Torah, most people, when they hear that, they're like, oh my God, that's law. And that's like restricting, and the law was done away with. But if you have the codes, you can see that it's the light codes that are found within the writings that are instructing you how to be like water. I mean, literally, yara means to flow as water. to shoot an arrow to point and teach, and it has a tav on the front of it, which is the covenant of mother. So covenant of mother is meant to reveal light to you so that you
Yeah.
can be revealed as one who has entered in through the covenant of light and is revealed as being light.
Yes.
And that's in the verse that I dug out and shared about the way, the truth, and the light. The word for way, when you look at it, it's written, it's the way of light. It's Aleph, Resh, Chet, but the way they wrote it, it has Aleph, Vav, Resh, Het, Aleph. So it's the way of light where you find life in the unified field of oneness, Christ consciousness. So connecting to everything that we just were showing through this verse in Job, it's all connected. It's about being able to bring light within us so that we can transform and change our bodies into different vessels, connecting to the wise and foolish virgins, that they brought their vessel with oil in it so that they could be turned into a vessel of light, which is their light garments, exchanging our skins of lesser nature for that which was our original intent and design before we entered into death and entering here, so that we can return back to Ishman, to the Ish, because that's plasma light energy. That's what it is. So even sharing the verse that I broke down the other day about the star of Jacob. Kokab has to do with plasma light energy erupting from our vessels, where those who have compressed light within will be revealed as the teaching shepherds of light, which is the fulfillment of Lay or Shalom, the way Jerusalem is written in the New Testament, or Shalom. Light that brings peace, that brings you to the place of being completed, safe in mind, body, and state, that the teaching shepherds of light are coming to bring. And so that revelation and going through the procedure that we just saw here in Job 31:35 is showing the progression of what we need in order to have this revelation be manifest in our day to day. It is so fantastic. And you are right. It says it over and over and over again because it's really mother and father want us to get this. And it doesn't matter where you dig. It does not matter what verse you're in. You are going to see this completely shored up, built up repeatedly as the blueprints of becoming, so that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt through inculcation what the work and deed of your hands are and how to translate it through your heart so that you can literally walk it out, which is the walk of the way of light. Wow.
Yes.